Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we're back for some player props and spreads in the NBA for Thursday, March 18th. We got a lot to cover today, but man, let's get into it. A recap from yesterday, 4-2 on our straight plays. Great day, bringing us to 15-3-1 over the last 3 days. But the biggest news, the long shot parlay of the day hits at plus 2,000 odds. We had Jokic, Harden, Westbrook triple-double all parlayed together. If we helped you out and you're feeling generous, it's not needed, but if you're feeling generous, at PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, at Calling Our Shot, if we helped you out. I don't do this for tips or anything like that. I just do it for fun, give you guys my thoughts and picks, and to build this betting community into the biggest and best betting community on the platform. If you're new here, click that like and subscribe button. That's another big thing. 1,000 subscribers yesterday. Unreal growth. I think we've gained over 300, 400 subscribers in the last 2 days. So shout out to all the new people out there. We're going to keep rolling, give you guys some player props and spreads every single day of the NBA season. 3 more quick notes. 1, we have a Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, I've kind of explained it in every video, but Discord is basically just like a group chat where you can go in and there's a bunch of different text channels for NBA, NCAA, March Madness is starting. We'll talk about that in a second. But NFL, MLB, hockey, soccer, you name it, MMA, everything is in there. The link is in the description to join the Discord. 150 plus members, a lot of active people in there. It's a lot of fun, great community. If you want to join, click that link in the description. You should be able to just click it, join it. Very simple. Speaking of Discord, we're doing a March Madness tournament. It's just $10 to enter, but as March Madness starts up officially tonight, but there's more. The physical round of 64 starts on Friday. If you want to join, enter, DM me or direct message me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Calling Our Shot, or DM me on Discord, and I'll send you the information and whatnot. And then lastly, we're back with Livestream. Normally, we're live streaming every day at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Missed yesterday. We will be back today at 6 p.m. So in today's video, we got 4 player props, 3 spreads, a parlay of the day, a long shot parlay of the day again, 2 more leans, and then maybe 2-minute quick thoughts on each game. Let's get into them, and we're starting at first with Dame time. Damian Lillard over 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You just saw Dame drop a 50-piece on the Pelicans 2 nights ago, and I think he'll be back for more. CJ McCollum is still working into gear, but I kind of like that CJ McCollum is back for Damian Lillard. You know, it gives him someone else that can, take the ball out of his hands 24/7, but Dame was insane, 56 and 10 last time these two teams played, which was on Tuesday, I believe, and we're going to ride him again tonight. Over 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The Pelicans will have adjusted their defense. They were going under on a lot of screens. Their center was back, whether it's Jackson Hayes or Steven Adams. I think they'll come up more, and then Dame will blow by him. He might not hit a lot of threes tonight, but I think he'll get to the line a lot, which he went 18 for 18 from the free throw line the last game. But I think he can easily pick this up, and the paint will be wide open with the center out, and I think he'll be able to drive, maybe kick, get some assists. I think he'll easily get 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been averaging, I believe, 46 points per game over the last 2 games versus the Pelicans. So not just the 50 points, he had 43 earlier in the season. That would hit his player points, rebounds, and assists over already. Moving on to the next one, Montrezl Harrell over 18.5 points. And, I love Harrell. Harrell has been killing it. He's had 25-plus points in 3 of 4 games. You might see him on the parlay of the day in a little bit. He had 25-plus points, 3 of his last 4, 17 points in the 1 game he did not hit this over, and that was because they played against Indiana and Miles Turner, normally where centers struggle. We picked Jokic's over against the Hornets last night, and we weren't, Jokic went 6 for 7, didn't shoot much. Luckily, he backed it up for the long shot parlay of the day, but when you think of it, Jokic only shot 7 times, made 6 of them. Not comparing Jokic to Harrell, but I think Harrell can get over the 18.5 points tonight against the Charlotte Hornets at home. Moving on to my next player prop of the day, Ricky Rubio under 8.5 assists. It's minus 138 right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down to 7.5. I do like it at 8.5, obviously more. We're taking the under. Rubio's been on a tear lately, 2 great games back-to-back. Granted, his numbers are a little inflated by a lot of last-second free throws, plus against the Lakers, who went 8 for 11, which is unsustainable. We're taking under 8.5 assists, and here's why. Sure, he hit 12 assists last game, but that was against the Lakers, who give up the 10th most assists to opposing point guards at 8.7 assists. So we have that number, 10th most. Then you look at the Suns, on the other hand, they give up the least assists per game to opposing point guards, only 7 per game. The last time Rubio played them, he still played his normal 29 minutes, and he only managed 6 assists. You will see I do like Anthony Edwards tonight in my leans of the night for player props, but I think Rubio will go under 8.5 assists. 9 is asking for a lot. Since Valentine's Day, February 14th, Rubio has hit this over in just 4 of 14 games, so it's 4 and 10. You know, the odds aren't great at 8.5, the under 8.5, but I do think that's a good winner, and I think something that you should look into. Moving on, we got one last one. Jordan Clarkson over 20.5 points. Mike Conley's out for injury management tonight to rest his hamstring, so Clarkson will again be thrust into the lineup. But he won't be starting, but he'll come off the bench even quicker. They're looking for someone to score off the bench. Clarkson has dropped 20-plus points in 2 straight games. During Mike Conley's extended absence this season, which was 7 games, Clarkson averaged 20.3 points. And you have 20.3, that's right at the 20.5 number. I love the matchup against the Wizards. The Wizards' second unit is terrible, and you will see that in a short second when we go to some spreads that we're picking. But yeah, when you look at Clarkson, and when Conley was out, he had 17-plus points in 5 of 7 games. And honestly, if you look at his game log, he shot terribly. He was under 36% in like 4 of 7 of those games. He was playing terribly, and he still hit this over in a couple of them. And I think, you know, he shot 15-plus attempts every game without Conley. And Clarkson's a good enough scorer to hit 21 points. He's been insanely good. He will be the 6th man of the year unless something happens to him. But yeah, he's attempting a lot of shots without Conley. And as you will see in a second, and we'll go right into it, I'm picking Jazz minus 10. And that's exactly why. I think Clarkson will play a lot of minutes, and this Jazz second unit is god-awful. I believe the word on the street is Russell Westbrook will miss today's game, and, you know, we'll get to see the 2019-2020 Washington Wizards, one of the worst teams in basketball, and now the Jazz are coming into town. I know they're 5-5 over the last 10 games. They got a big win against the Celtics a couple nights ago, but the Jazz are 20-6 against the spread coming off a win, and sure, that might have a lot of that was in their long winning streak and long stretch where they were like 19-1 in 20 games. But it's the Washington Wizards, and it's 10 points, and I think they can easily win by that against the Wizards without Russell Westbrook. Obviously, Bradley Beal is still there, but I ask you this question. Who scores the ball for the Wizards when Beal goes off the floor? Are you going to do Raul Neto? Are you going to do Garrison Matthews, Davis Bertans, Alex Len, Rui Hachimura? Exactly. They won't be able to contend with this Jazz team that shoots threes and their second unit scores at will. And all they have to really do is stop Bradley Beal, and they'll win this game easily tonight. It will be hard for them to score in the paint for the guys that drive with Rudy Gobert down there. And then you just really have to stop Beal, which is why we're riding with Jazz minus 10 versus the Wizards. Like I said, 20-6 against the spread coming off a win. And if they just, you know, when you look at the Jazz, if they are a 7 to 8 point favorite, fade the hell out of them. They always lose outright. I don't know why they always do it. 7 to 8 points, they'll lose outright. Tonight, they're up to 10. I think they're good as a double-digit team, and we're going to take the Jazz to win and cover on the road. My next one, Timberwolves versus Suns over 228. I believe it's up to 228.5. Yeah, this Timberwolves team does not play defense, especially under their new head coach. The over has hit in 5 consecutive Timberwolves road games, which is where they find themselves on the road tonight. And you know, they've been playing with a blazing speed the last couple games. Here are their past 5 games point totals. 258, 226, 246, 240, 237. They're hitting it at will. The Suns not only are scoring a lot of points too, as the Suns have dropped 120 plus in 3 of 4 games. They're shooting exceptionally well. And sure, the Suns do have one of the best defenses in the league. I believe 2nd in defensive rating, something like that. But there's no need for them to flex that on this Timberwolves team. I think they can easily just outscore them, kind of what the Brooklyn Nets do every time. Sure, they could play defense very tough, very hard, but you know, you look at it, they could easily hit this over without having to play an ounce of defense and easily win this game against the Timberwolves. So not worried about that. Speaking of a defensive game, a brick fest, my last spread over-under of the day is going to be Knicks Magic under. Right now, FanDuel does not have a line, but I believe it is around 209. I think this line should be like 200. If you look at the Knicks versus the Magic, they're god-awful. They never score points every single time they match up. And here are the scores in their last 4 games. You got 107 to 89, so we didn't hit 200. 84 to 91, didn't hit 200. Then you had one game 103 to 105, and they still would be the under 209. And then the game before that, 95 to 83. As you'll see in one of my long shot parlays of the day, we're going to be taking this under 200 points, but I do like the under at 209. Likely will go down, in my opinion. As a Knicks fan and an Orlando native, you know, I've watched this matchup, sadly, way too many times, and it always turned into a brick fest, and you never want to watch the game after about 3 minutes. both teams are missing key players. The Magic might get some players back. Fournier, Ross, Aaron Gordon, they might be active tonight, but that doesn't scare me one bit. This under should hit. The Knicks don't score a lot of points. Magic plays super slow. We're taking the under tonight. I think one of these teams, if not both, will not break 100 points. That would not surprise me at all. Moving into my 2 leans of the day before we go into my parlay of the day, I'm looking at Zion Williamson over 4.5 assists. Plus 120, I think might be a good way to hit it. He had a career high 8 assists last game, and the Blazers were making him drive and dish it to other people. They weren't letting him use and abuse, although I do expect he could hit his points over again tonight. Wouldn't be surprised. And, Zion had hit this in 7 of 9 games. 2 games he missed were blowouts, and it's plus 120, plus great value. And then Anthony Edwards over 21.5 points. Something to consider. Not making these official plays, but you might look into them. 24 plus in their last meeting 2-3 weeks ago. 29 and 34 in back-to-back games. 21 plus points in 7 of 8. 20 plus shot attempts in 7 of 8. You name it, he's been shooting it a ton. And last time he played the Phoenix Suns, he did have 24 points, but he went 8 for 22. I think he'll be much more efficient lately. And, I think he can hit this over with ease, especially against the Suns team where I like the over. My parlay of the day, this is why everyone came. We're in a parlay of the day, long shot parlay of the day. We'll start with parlay of the day. We got Jazz money line, the over in the Suns game, and then the under in the Magic Knicks game. I've just taken basically my 3 spreads and over-unders, just combine them into one. I did lower the Jazz minus just to money line just because I don't want them to hurt me, although I do think they could win, and you could add that in as well. That should be around plus 330. So good enough odds. I believe parlay of the day is 5-3 on the year. Don't quote me on that. 5-3, something around those. So we'll keep the Celtics screwed us yesterday, but what's new? Then we're moving on. Long shot parlay of the day. This is why everyone is here. And this one, I think, has a decent chance. And we got Damian Lillard, 35-plus points. Like I said, he's averaging 46 against the Pelicans this year. 35-plus. Anthony Edwards, 25-plus points. And then LeBron, triple-double, who's had a triple-double in 2 straight. Let's make it 3 straight. It would be his 100th triple-double. Combine those 3 together, you're looking at almost plus 2,200. Great value for something I think that has a legit chance. Both of those, almost all 3 of those players are hitting it right now. So if they could just keep what they're doing. Well, for people that don't do player props, here's kind of what I'm looking at. If you have alt spreads, I would do Knicks Magic under 200 points. That should give you good value. Timberwolves versus Suns over 235 points. Maybe 6 points of value on each side. So, you get more. So basically, you're taking the over, but you even added giving Vegas some more points. And then Jazz minus 10. I don't know what the odds are for that because I didn't have alt spreads. But if you do have that, consider that Knicks under 200. Timberwolves Suns over 235. Jazz minus 10. Or even up the Jazz spread. That would be 3-0 on our spreads and over-unders. Feel free to, or you could even combine any of my picks into a parlay of the day, long shot parlay of the day, whatever you want. We'll see how we do. We're going to do a quick 2-minute recap of every single game. Let me get into a recap first of our picks for the day. Montrezl Harrell over 18.5. And like I said, if you want to, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, at Calling a Shot, feel free. Montrezl Harrell over 18.5 points. Damian Lillard over 44.5 points, rebounds, assists. Ricky Rubio under 8.5 assists. Jordan Clarkson over 20.5 points. Knicks Magic under. Jazz minus 10. And then the Timberwolves versus Suns over 228. Parlay of the day. Jazz money line over in the Suns game. Under in the Magic Knicks game. Long shot parlay of the day. Dame 35 plus. Anthony Edwards 25 plus points. And LeBron triple double. Last but not least, we're going to go into a 2-minute recap of all the games on the slate. I see the timers at about 13:40. We're going to end this by 16 minutes for sure. Jazz, Wizards, already talked about that. We're riding with the Jazz. OKC versus the Hawks. This is a game that the Hawks probably lose. It doesn't make sense. Al Horford should be returning. The Thunder are getting some better players back. I think the Thunder should win and could win this game, but I think they will cover. The Hawks are playing very well lately, though. So an interesting game to watch out for. I didn't have any spreads or over-unders or player props in this game yet, as some people are still iffy. Magic Knicks. If I had to take one, I'd take the Magic to cover +7, although I do think the Knicks should win. I think the Magic can keep this game close, especially with some people returning, but obviously I prefer the under in the game. Then you got Timberwolves versus Suns. A sneaky game. We're obviously all in on the over. I do like the over. Suns should win this game. Timberwolves have quietly, been all right. I would still end up taking the Suns. I probably wouldn't take them at -10.5 if I had to. I would try to alt spread it a little lower, maybe 6.5, 7.5. You aren't going to win your -110, but you do get more money and you do get better, you get better odds. And so that's kind of why I'd lean towards the Suns to cover tonight. Pelicans versus Blazers. Yeah, I stayed away from this game because, you had the Pelicans who just choked like a 15-point lead in the fourth. I do think the Blazers are the better team. We already talked about the road Pelicans not being that good. So, I'd lean towards Blazers -1.5. Probably take Blazers money line since they won by 1 point last time. So, something I'd consider, I'd probably go Blazers. And then final game, Hornets versus Lakers. The over 225.5. Hey, shout out to the whole over for the Hornets in the Nuggets game yesterday. It was not looking good, and then they combined for 72 points in the fourth quarter. Hit that over to make us 4-2 on the day. Hornets +8 versus the Lakers. That's another game I couldn't really get a read on. Maybe as you'll see, I have the live stream today at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to stop by. Maybe I'll have a better kind of understanding of how the games are going. And then we'll have better picks for at least like the full slate. But when I look at it, Hornets, I think the Hornets can cover 8 points against the Lakers. But then again, the Hornets aren't great on the road. The Lakers are playing much better of late. I don't know. That's a tough game to watch. I would probably take the over just because we ride Hornets road games overs into the ground more than the spread. I mean, the Hornets overs are 15-4 now on the year, so something I would consider. Just at the 16-minute mark. Just as a recap, join that Discord. DM me, direct message me about the March Madness Bracket Challenge. Trying to get a lot of people in there. 3, we have our live stream coming up. Good luck to everyone out there tonight. Man, this has been a long video. Thank you guys again for 1,000 subscribers. This community has been blowing up, and I couldn't do it without you. We're going to keep grinding. If there's ever any additions to the channel that you want me to do, let me know, and I'm happy to put some things into place if I see it fit. And honestly, that's what the Discord, the live stream, all of that stuff was all suggestions from you guys. So it's all shout out to you. And then that will basically be it. This has been Austin. I will catch you guys tonight for the live stream as well as for tomorrow for the normal video. It's been Austin. I'll catch you guys soon. Good luck tonight. Let's win some money. Peace.